Hello again, Article Club. Welcome back to Melinda's Grief Corner. I have not been on video since I have been fostering. I do have two foster kittens, so they may make an appearance. One is a very rambunctious orange cat named Nutmeg, so who loves to crawl on the dining room table and knock things over as orange cats and cats are wont to do. Um, Today we're going to be talking not necessarily to the people who are grieving, or maybe anticipate grief. We are going to talk instead to the people who would like to support the grievers in their lives. So if you're a loved one, a friend, a relative, a coworker, a mentor, if you have a relationship someone who is grieving or maybe is going to be grieving, like maybe their person is currently ill or in hospice or something awful like that, um, then this is really for you. I've wanted to write something like this for a while. I've wanted to talk to the support groups of people who are trying to support grievers, the people that are in their lives. Um, because I have learned through just experience what is helpful and what's not helpful. So, caveat, there's always caveats, right? The advice that I'm going to give to the supporting people, the grief supporters, let's call them that, it's not universal, right? There's no such thing as really like necessarily universal things, I think, because everybody's different and everybody's grief is different. But they're consider them like a starting point of what not to do and what to do instead. I'm going to go through three things. And then at the end of the newsletter, I also link to a TED Talk by Nora McInerney, which many people have maybe already seen. I did not see it until my dad had died, as one does when you don't learn about any of these resources until you like need them. So her TED Talk is about the one thing you should not say to somebody who is grieving. Maybe that's universal. Um, I wanted to offer this because one, I think it can be really exhausting as the person who is like actively grieving, especially like in the very early days of grief. And by that, I mean like from day one to like a year to even to educate somebody on like what it looks like to be a supportive friend. um, it can be really difficult to even like know what you need as somebody who is grieving. I talk about this a little bit in the newsletter, but there were days where like, and I've talked about this before, like where I had no idea if I had washed my hair that day or like washed my face. There were multiple moments, multiple showers in which I probably like washed my hair or washed my face like two or three times because I just couldn't remember. So if you asked me like, what do you need right now? Like, I don't know, turn back time, um, bring my father back. So that's one of the reasons is because like as the person who is in need of support, it can be hard to even figure that out. Two, I think like as the supporting person, as the person who cares about the person grieving, it can be difficult to like know exactly. I think we can kind of fumble around a little bit and we think that we're helping, but a lot of times we're not. That's just honest. Sometimes we're just not helping. And sometimes we say things that we think are supportive, but they don't land in a way that's supportive. And you may not know that if you're somebody who has like not lost somebody or experienced like very significant death loss. Um, so that's why I wanted to put this together, is I kind of wanted it to be a starting point for people who, maybe your best friend's mom died and you don't really know what to do. And I wanted to give like actual practical ways to support and to also offer the perspective of somebody who is the griever and how different things can land and what actually is helpful. And from other people that I know who are grievers, what has been helpful for them. So again, this is not universal. Everyone's different, but there's a lot of space in this newsletter for your griever to guide you. That's a big theme, is like open the door for your griever. Like, and show them that you are there to support in whatever way is helpful for them and that you are like actively lifting, doing the heavy lifting there. Um, I'll do a quick example of this. More is in the newsletter. Something that people do is they say, I'm here to support you. Great. But don't stop there. Like, there's practical needs, there's like everyday needs um that your griever has that it is more helpful if you show up in like a very tangible way. Um like maybe your griever is a parent and it's just a lot having to like deal with the death of a loved one and also be a parent. Like maybe offer to take their kids for an afternoon to the playground or something so they can just have a couple of hours. Stuff like that. So that's an example. Again, this is not it's not universally prescriptive, but I want it to be like a starting point. And I want it to get people to start thinking of ways that they can better support your person who is grieving. So I hope it gets shared with people. I also think, it could also be, depending on people's relationships, you could also use it as a way to like forward this to your supporting friend. If you're having a hard time trying to like put together, piece together, give words to the kind of support you need, then feel free to have this be the thing where you're like, read this, listen to this video of this girl talking. Um, so yeah, so that is the whole purpose behind this. I hope it is helpful. Um, a couple of you who maybe have been reading these newsletters also know that I did an IRL grief support group through the dinner table, the dinner party. I had my own dinner table. It's not, it's kind of there's the backstory about the dinner table, and that's why it's called the dinner table. It's not always dinner involved. It's more of just like a get together of people who are grieving. Um, it was beautiful. It honestly, I don't know if there are words. It's odd just to call something magical when you're like brought together by people who have experienced some of the worst things that have ever happened to them. But to be in like a circle of support, I think is one of the most comforting and connective things anyone can experience. So I have lots of thoughts about it. I may not share them in a newsletter, but I did want to tell everyone if they were wondering, it was wonderful. I am looking forward to hosting it every month. Looking forward to like hosting a Friendsgiving for all the people that were there. So if you have been thinking about joining like a grief support group, let me be the person to tell you that you should just try it. Just try. Just see. If you're curious, just try it out. Find one in person. The dinner party also has virtual tables if you're more comfortable doing virtual, or if you don't have something like in person, let me be the one to tell you just give it a shot and see how it goes. Um, but in the meantime, I hope that you find this uh, newsletter helpful. Hopefully, it can be the voice that you need if you're having a difficult time trying to express what your needs are to the people around you who are trying to support. And yes, I will see you again in a couple of weeks.